Serbia. Let me bring up a little bit about his dad. Yeah, there were peasants in Serbia. Yeah, so they were poor. They were in a caste system where pretty much you were the peasantry. Like it was literally slavery back then
Mm-hmm.
before reforms came in. I believe with Alexander the second of the third, excuse me, Alexander the third, who did reforms and abolished the peasantry. Uh, like that back then, being a serf means that you were owned along with the property
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
you worked on.
you came with it.
Uh, yeah, you came with it. Same sort of system. This was going on even after the American Civil War. Uh, at the time before it was absolutely abolished. Um, Around, I would say, when he was 18, he had a religious conversion experience, taking a pilgrimage to a monastery around 1897. Um, don't know what this pilgrimage entails, but afterwards he described himself as a monk, even though he held no official position in the Russian Orthodox Church. If you don't want to see bad shit, no, not bad shit, crazy, just clinging on to the old
Right.
world, yeah, the Russian Orthodox Church really does that.
Some people didn't want to give it up. They
No,
kept
no, it didn't. No,
it
absolutely
for it.
not. But he had this conversion when he was 18, and he described himself as a monk, even though he never joined the Russian Orthodox Church. They grew to hate him too. And it was just like a round of people who just absolutely grow to hate this man, except for the most important person in the country and his wife for what he was able to do for them. But we'll get to that a little bit
And so the
later.
thing, really quick,
Um,
I guess before
That right, he went into
yeah,
he went into this monastery, and
yeah,
he fell in love with somebody.
hmm
He left
yeah. He did
he left
fall
the
in
order,
love.
to marry
Yeah,
this
he
person.
fell in love. Yeah, he fell in love with a peasant girl named God, these Russian names.
It was
Pa,
rough.
yeah,
Keep getting, come
Konova
on, fight it, fight for it,
Dionovich.
fight for it. You got to fight
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, Paskova Dionovich. I believe
Okay.
that's how I pronounce it. After a courtship of several months, they married in February 1887. Oh, this is before he went on his religious conversion.
Hmm.
Pavorovich remained in her part of Russia outside, well, still in Siberia. Throughout Rasputin's travels and rise to prominence, she remained devoted to him until his death. The couple had seven children,
Those are 7 quick kids,
but
by the
only
way.
three survived to adulthood.
Those kids came quick.
Yes, but only three survived into yeah, three survived until adulthood.
Whew.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, in 1897, he developed a renewed interest in religion and left his town, which I'm not going to pronounce, but spelled Pokrovskoye, to go on
Yeesh.
his pilgrimage.
That's a lot.
His re- his reasons are unclear, but according to sources, Rasputin left the village to escape punishment for his role in a horse theft.
Hilarious.
Other
Completely
sources,
hilarious.
yes, other sources suggest he had a vision of the Virgin Mary or Saint Simon of Verkhat Tor.
These
While others,
Europeans are giving you a hard time tonight. I know
yeah,
that's
yes, they
right.
are. While others suggest that Rasputin's pilgrimage was inspired by a young theological student, Mirti
Rough,
Zaborski. God, I'm really screwing up these
rough,
names.
rough.
Whatever his reasons, Rasputin cast off his old life. He was 28, married 10 years, with an infant son and another child on the way. His decision could only be occasioned by some sort of emotional or spiritual crisis.
Hmm.
So after that, Rasputin spent years that followed a holy pilgrimage and holy. He was known as a holy wanderer and pilgrimage. He left his
Wanderer.
hometown, yeah, hometown for months or even years at a time to wander the country and visit various holy sites. Around the early in 1900s, Rasputin had developed a small circle of followers, primarily family members and other local peasants, who prayed with him on Sundays and other holy days when he was in his hometown, building a makeshift chapel in Ephraim's roof cellar. I believe it's one of his cousins. Rasputin was still living within his father's household at the time. The group held secret prayer meetings there. These meetings were subject of some speculation and hostility for the village priests and other villagers. It was rumored that female followers were ceremoniously washing him before every meeting,
Oh
and that the
God.
group sang strange songs, and even that Rasputin had joined the Kurtskiki, a religious sect whose rituals were rumored to include self-flagellation and sexual
Oh God.
orgies. Yeah, that's another
Oh
thing
God.
that, even though it's true, this dude fucked a lot.
A lot. A lot.
He fucked a
A
lot.
lot. A whole lot.
A lot. He, some of
So
those
say the
times,
Lord.
yeah. Some of those times, he raped. That's what makes him a horrible
Oh,
person, because he was a rapist. He raped some of these women. But some of them were eagerly given up. But this dude this dude's married. He has 7 kids. And he's still rolling around.
you know, when the Lord tells you to,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
be
Because
fruitful. What
yes,
you gonna do?
exactly, and also added to the fact that there was a rumor that he had a, how do I say this,
Oh God.
horse cock.
He had
He
one.
was no, he had one. He was very well
Mm,
endowed.
mm, okay. I'm not
I'm looking like you've seen
not
a
going
picture of
further.
this guy. You've seen a picture of this guy.
I have, yes.
Okay,
I
somewhat
mean, you never
believable.
know. You never know. You can't.
I'm
That's
trying to
not
guess this
something you
guy's
can tell.
anatomy. Jesus Christ.
That's nothing you can tell just by looking.
Yeah, well, apparently he did. Well, apparently it's sitting somewhere in someone's
Shut up.
home.
No, it's oh my
So
God.
when there was a room, we'll get to that later towards the
Oh
end.
no.
Yeah, let's just all right, going back to the story. Word of Rasputin's activity and charis,
Charismatic.
charisma, no charisma, began to
Okay.
spread to Siberia around the early 1900s. At some point during 1904-1905, he traveled to the city of Kazan, where he acquired a reputation as a wise scarlet or holy man who could help people resolve their spiritual crises and anxieties. Despite rumors that Rasputin was having sex with female followers, he made a
Yikes.
favorable impression of the father superior of the Seven Lakes Monastery outside of Kazan, as well as local church officials, Andrade and Bishop Christanos, who gave him a letter of recommendation to Bishop Sergei, the rector of the St. Petersburg Theological Society at the Alexander Nevsky Monastery, and arranged for him to travel to St. Petersburg. Upon meeting Sergei at the Minsk Nersky Monastery, Rasputin was introduced to church leaders, including Archmanitrice Theophan,
His name.
inspector, yeah, inspector of the theological seminary, who was well connected in the St. Petersburg Society and later served as a confessor to the Tsar and his wife. Theophan was so impressed with Rasputin that he invited him to stay in his home. Theophan became one of Rasputin's most important and influential friends in St. Petersburg and gained him entry to many of the influential salons where the aristocracy gathered for religious discussions. It was
Hmm.
through these meetings that Rasputin attracted some of his early and most influential followers, many of who would later turn against him. Also, he was fucking their wives.
Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, no, that's.
Doesn't help at all.
Yeah, no, it's like, hey, Father, come in and we talk spirituality, and I'll feed you, and you can bed yourself for the night. Then later on the night, what's that noise?
Here we
Why is
go.
my wife has?
Here we go. I just saved everybody from the rest of that little story. You're welcome, everyone.
Yes.
Yikes.
Oh man. Rasputin stayed in St. Petersburg for only a few months on his first visit and returned to his hometown in the fall of 1903. Historian Douglas Smith, however, argues that it's impossible to know whether Rasputin stayed in St. Petersburg or returned to his hometown at some point between his first arrival in 1905. Regardless, by 1905, Rasputin had formed friendships with several members of the aristocracy, including the Black Princesses, Mistina, Mistana, and Anastasia of Montenegro, who had married the Tsar's cousin, Grand Duke Peter Nikolaevich, and Prince George Maximilianovich Romanovsky.
I don't ever want to hear anybody anything about black women's names. Never again.
Yeah.
Not after this.
Yeah. Especially.
This is ridiculous.
Why would they call the Black Princesses? Oh, God. Okay.
You got the Black Donovans.
Mm-hmm.
You have what's the other the popular but they the color black and you.
Oh, Color Me no, not Color Me Bad. No.
Shut up.
Oh man,
It means things could be dark and mean and all kinds of things. I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to make it better. These things are just over the top.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help him out.
Oh my God.
The Black Princess.
All right, hold on. Why in the hell do they call them Black Princesses?
Oh, you gotta look it up.
Yeah, because why they call them Black Princesses? Oh
Hang on, everybody. Hang on.
Does it? You don't. It doesn't say. All right, Anastasia.
The Black Pearl.
The
Black Pearl. The Crows. It must be something to do with their personality. It has to be, right?
Yeah, because all I see on Princess Anastasia, she was married twice. First to Prince George Maximilianovich of Lutzenberg. Yeah.
Picture. I mean, how they're dark.
They're dark.
I won't say they're black, but they're dark.
Oh my God.
Okay, continue.
Okay,
Continue.
all right. So he's meeting all these famous people. He's connected to the Romanov, the royal family. He finally meets the Tsar on November the 1st, 1905, at the Pianov Palace. The Tsar recorded the event in his diary, writing that he and Alexandra, his wife, had made the acquaintance of a man of God, Gregory, from Tobolsk province. Now we're going to stop it right there because we need to talk about Tsar Nicholas II.
Wait a minute.
The last.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Militsa and Anastasia had been jointly nicknamed the Black Pearl due to their penchant for everything mystical.
Okay. But still just as bad.
I'm just saying they were deeply passionate about the mysticism, which is, which explains Anastasia's, devotion to Rasputin. Mysticism that they even acquired a diploma in Paris as an honorary doctor of alchemy.
Okay.
Done. That's it.
Okay.
I fulfilled my purpose tonight. I fulfilled it.
All right. Well, let's see the show.
They weren't that dark. They weren't that dark. I'm looking at several pictures, and maybe that was just the picture I saw. These people weren't dark.
Right.
No melanin. No melanin.
All right. Yeah. They were mystics. Oh God.
Fans.
They're penchant for mysticism.
Here we go.
Okay.
It'll get worse, y'all.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about Tsar Nicholas II.
Okay, Tsar, which is not great, but go ahead.
Yeah, this guy. Oh God, there's a reason why he's the last Tsar of Russia. If you're not not a history major.